when they see their team playing so well, looking like they're going to take a 2-0 game lead here in the first round of the playoffs, and then you watch a guy like Rudy Gobert dunk on the Nuggets and beat them here in their own house. Let's hear from David Adelman, the Nuggets head coach, on the loss and how he feels right now.
You know, I thought most of the people out there are really tired. Jamal has a ton of responsibility. You know, and I tried to get Aaron to bring it up a lot, and you know that's a wear and tear thing for him as well with his size. So you know we lost this game on second chance points. I mean, every time we had control of this game, we get a free throw rebound, a really soft, you know, crash from the corner. Nobody touches anybody. I mean, 20-3 in a playoff game is, you know, in a hard fought game like that where you work so hard to get a stop, and then just give up second chance points. It kept them in the game. Every time we made a run, I felt like that's what stopped the run, and that's something we have to clean up as a team.
David, how different does this series now become tied up 1-1 as you head to Minnesota?
Preparation-wise, it doesn't change anything. You know, if you're up 2-0 or you're down 0-2, you know, you just learn from the next game. So to me, we go to Minnesota, and it's only about Game 3. It's not about the fact that the two games are there. That has no meaning to me. You know, you just prepare to win Game 3, you know, and you see the outcome from there, and you move on to the next one. That's what these series are. You can be really down tonight, and we were really up Saturday. But you have to just keep your temperament where it's at, understand these games ebb and flow, and we can play better. We know that. We can play better from Game 1 that we won, and we did some things tonight in Game 2 better than Game 1, and we lost the game. So you have to build off the positives from this game and learn from the mistakes.
David, Joker, and Jamal struggled to shoot in the fourth quarter, I think 2 for 13. Is that one of those where it's just you trust them, we've seen them do it in the fourth quarter, or is it like we need to hit the drawing board a little bit, maybe change some things up?
No, I want them to shoot the ball.
When Rudy picked up his fourth, Nikola kind of kicked into a more aggressive gear there in the third for sure. Is there anything that you guys just feel like you could have done differently to kind of establish him more in the second quarter when he was out with 3 for some of those minutes as they were making their run?
You're talking about Nikola?
Yeah, in the second quarter.
Yeah, I think we tried to. I think to your earlier questions, going inside is one thing, getting the ball to him is another, and I thought the ball pressure got to us a little bit. You know, we were trying to run specific sets to get him on the block or to the nail, and a lot of those things end up with Nikola having to handle the ball. And when he has to handle it, that takes you out of things to get the ball inside to where you want to go. So yeah, it's one of those things. You know, just like with Ant, we're doubling him every single time, and so if guys are in foul trouble, sometimes it doesn't matter. If we're impacting him defensively, and I thought they impacted our other people, which made it hard for us to facilitate the ball to him in places we want to get it to.
You spoke before the series about emotion and not just...
Hey, you just waited for somebody to have the hot hand late for the Nuggets, and in the first quarter, right? I mean, Joker was distributing, he was facilitating, and he wasn't necessarily in a position where he had to score a lot of points, but then late in the game, they certainly could have used that from him, and they didn't have it. One hot hand tonight could have changed the game for the Nuggets, but at the end of the day, right, after Game 1, the Timberwolves did everything other than file a federal lawsuit about the officiating. Certainly the 19,000 plus people here tonight did not love the officiating, but that didn't decide the game, although there's plenty of fodder if you want to watch video replays of that kind of thing. It's on to Minnesota, it's on to Game 3 and a fresh 1-1 slate as Kim and Phil, the Nuggets and everybody else in town were up late, but did not get lucky, at least not in this case.
No, that's when you wake up the next day and go, oh, really?
Did I really
but
stay up that
it's
late?
okay. We're moving on.
Game
Kyle.
3.
Throw it behind us. So the fans were excited. The Nuggets brought the heat for a while to Ball Arena. The sun brought the rest to the city today because it was warm. Denver topped out in the upper 70s, kicking off a warm and dry trend. 9 News meteorologist Chris Bianchi is here with our forecast for the week.
Yeah, thanks so much. And yeah, we're talking about really 3 main things in the weather forecast. 1, the warmth. You mentioned that, Kim and Phil. Number 2, we've got high fire danger for Wednesday in particular. And number 3, a big pattern change at the end of the week. But right now, things looking pretty calm for us in Denver. Temperatures pretty mild for all those fans stepping out of Ball Arena. We're in the mid to upper 50s right now, comfortable on this Monday evening, almost Tuesday morning here on the in the Denver area. 50s, 60s, Eastern Plains, a lot of 30s and 40s in the high country. Most areas here still for this point of the night about 15, 20 degrees above where we typically are this point of the evening on April the 20th, heading into April the 21st. Speaking of April the 21st, it's going to be 83 degrees for tomorrow. Mostly sunny skies, warm and turning a little breezy in the afternoon, but those winds will really kick up for Wednesday. And there's a fire weather warning covering basically all of eastern Colorado and a sliver of northwest Colorado as well. And this is going to be the big concern points we head over the next few days. Details on this and that full 7-day outlook in just a few minutes.
All right, Chris, thank you. Let's get to some of the news of the day. With scrutiny high on flock surveillance cameras already, one group wants to know why an officer in Thornton ran nearly 20,000 searches over just 2 years.
It's raising new questions about how Thornton police use license plate reading cameras. 9 News reporter Spencer Soisher joins us. And Spencer, the department says it's now reviewing those allegations and tightening the oversight of the system.
Yeah, the cameras are supposed to be used in search to solve crimes, but there have always been concerns about who's accessing the data and for what purpose. A new complaint with the city questions why an officer ran that many searches and whether there was appropriate oversight in place to notice. Have you ever wondered how often police officers are searching these flock license plate reading cameras? There's a third-party website that tracks it. HaveIBeenFlocked.com uses public records from Flock's national database of cameras and uploads the searches to the site. And what it tracked in Thornton just led Jacob Wilson to file an ethics investigation complaint.
Proportionally, we had noticed that on the leaderboard on Have I Been Flocked, that this person was far and away the top.
Wilson works with the Thornton community group Thornton for All, a left-leaning group pushing to get Flock out of Thornton. And his complaint is based on Have I Been Flocked data that shows a Thornton police officer ran 19,194 searches of flock cameras between October 2023 and December of 2025.
I hope that they really look into that volume of search, because there's just something that it's a severe outlier.
If that officer worked every single day in that time frame, they'd be running about 25 searches per day. The complaint also alleges fewer than 1% of them were tied to a specific case number.
If you're seeing use around the clock, could even mean that an account is compromised, coming from a tech background.
Thornton police declined our request for an interview about the account and the searches, but said it was aware of the complaint and is looking into it. But questions about the oversight of flock accounts in the city is not new. There's been strong pushback from the public on the cameras, which the police department says influence changes it's now making.
The old system was definitely not up to snuff in any way, shape, or form.
Thornton PD says the previous process relied on one system admin auditing searches once a month. The new process now includes weekly audits by 5 trained employees, written records of concerns found, and reviews of total searches by individual officers.
Based on their actions, they definitely know that they weren't doing this kind of audit on a system that they really should have been.
Aside from not using the cameras at all, the group says it wants a third-party audit of this stuff, not the police auditing the police. Thornton police say the new changes were made after broader public concerns, so not specifically because of this complaint. Spencer Soisher, 9 News.
Today marked day 6 that a 27-year-old man from Salida has been missing. The Chaffee County Sheriff's Office says he was hunting alone last Wednesday on Mount Chavano and never made it home.
Search and rescue teams are using any tool they possibly can, including AI. 9 News reporter Janelle Finch explains.
Southern Colorado search and rescue teams are digging deep in their tool belts.
Drones, dogs, heat sensors.
To find the man missing for nearly a week.
Pretty much been an around-the-clock operation.
Chaffee County Sheriff Andy Rorick is leading the effort to find Caden's sites.
They could be anywhere, so it's not unusual for a hunting scenario search and rescue to go into multiple days.
With no sign of sites, the Sheriff's Office is reaching for a new tool.
First time that we've utilized it for real intentional law enforcement purposes.
Sheriff Rorick says Sight's girlfriend told him he might be wearing something different than what was first reported.
For a long time, we thought it was a green hoodie that he was wearing. That hoodie ended up being found at his house.
So the office created its own photo, using AI, of what Sights might have on instead.
A pack on his chest that was his binoculars, that is his exact pack that was put into that picture. That's what he would have been wearing. The pants are accurate, the hat, the glasses, all that's accurate. The sweater's really the only thing right now that we're we're guessing on.
When AI is used to create new content, it's called generative AI.
Exactly.
Catalin Grigoras is the director of the National Center for Media Forensics at CU Denver. He says AI can be a powerful tool in this work.
So imagine nowadays that instead of using a pencil to draw somebody's face, a professional is using AI.
Grigoras says computer-generated images can be easier to update when new information is discovered.
But disclose and make it clear that this is an approximation.
Sheriff Rorick hopes using the new tool pays off and brings a boyfriend, brother, and son back to his loved ones.
We got to take advantage of technology.